Hello and welcome to the longest awaited YouTube channel ever. No one understands how I feel right now making this YouTube video because honestly, this has been the longest awaited thing in my life. 8 years ago, I filmed and posted my first ever YouTube video. And since then, it's been excuse after excuse as to why I can't have a channel. It feels like my time right now, so I can't explain how excited I am.
Don't play with me, you're gonna lose. I didn't choose you, I didn't choose this. Don't exist, you're wasting hard time.
Hi beautiful people, my name is Anashe and this is my new series, Attempting It All with Anashe. I am a medical student. I'm about halfway into my medical degree. I'm actually currently studying business management. For people who don't really understand medical school and how it works, you can intercalate, and I'm intercalating in a whole new university, doing a whole new degree, which is management. And then on top of that, I recently completed an internship in finance, yes, as a medical student, and not just in finance, but at a big 4 professional services firm. If I do say so myself, I just want to prove I have the credentials to even be making this series. And then on top of that, I do my own investments on the side, and then as you can tell, I'm also a content creator. So my very first social media appearance was in fact on YouTube, so I've come home. This series was inspired by one of my favourite creators, which is Mariam Musa. I think hers was Making It with Mariam Musa, and Attempting It All with Anashe is a series. This is a pilot of me showing that I'm not willing to close any doors right now. I'm too young, I'm too lit, I'm too capable to allow myself to close any doors right now. So every door I'm rushing into, there's no more excuses left, okay? I've rinsed every excuse. It's now time to full throttle. So I have already done that in the last year. 2023 has been such an amazing year, and I will get into that, but I'm going to do it so much better in 2024. I am a creative by nature. I'm someone who loves aesthetics. I'm someone who loves feeling like I have a purpose. And so everything in my life that I've done, I've kind of wanted to have a purpose with it. And I'm only drawn to things that really give me a sense of being. I guess that's what drew me to medicine as a career. But even prior to studying medicine, I had a degree apprenticeship at a top 4 professional services firm, and I ended up rejecting it because I thought, if I do this, then I can't go into medicine later, but if I do medicine, I can go into finance later. So I am literally the embodiment of close no doors. Anashe is a super ambitious person. She is someone who doesn't really allow herself to be limited in any sense. In fact, limit isn't a word in her vocabulary. So my name means with God, and I feel as though, especially recently, I've realised God's presence in all of the blessings I have. I feel I have such a blessed life, and I'm so grateful, and it's only through God's grace. Every achievement, like I've never ever in my life sat an exam without first praying. The bare minimum is a sign of the cross. I don't think anything I've achieved in my life, driving test, educational test, nothing I've achieved in my life has been by my own power, by my own will. Everything I do is through God. And I'm so grateful that my name reflects that. And in terms of how it impacts my personality and my brand, I think my ambition comes from the fact that I'm not trying to do it on my own. I'm doing everything that I'm trying. I'm attempting it all, knowing that God is beside me. So what can't I do? And I feel like I'm living life with such a open mind, it's so much more enjoyable this way. So, for example, over this summer, I went on my very first solo trip. I went to Cayman Islands, and the food, the scenery, the sand, the beaches, the people, the experience was honestly the best. What does doing it all mean to me? So doing it all doesn't mean stretching myself too thin, okay? Doing it all doesn't mean burning out, because that's not what I'm about. I'm about, as much as I am ambitious, I also want a soft life. So all in all, I do it all, but I just don't do it all simultaneously. It's more about prioritization. So at certain times I was focused on applications, I was focused on making myself as employable as possible and conveying to the employers why I wanted to do an internship in something so dissimilar to my degree. But then there was also times where honestly, you can't message me, I'm revising. Medicine only. There's a lot of times where I have been challenged, and as much as I do love the feeling of being challenged, it's tricky when you're in it. So the time that I was the most challenged was doing my second year medicine exams, because honestly there was just so much content. It's definitely challenging doing so much, but it's rewarding. I think some people are very good at limiting themselves when they should give themselves more credit of what they're capable of doing. And so I don't ever want to feel like I look back on my life and think I could have done more. I was just being lazy, or I could have done more, I just wasn't aiming high enough. So I'm going to make that impossible by aiming so high. No journey is without setbacks, and I think the first thing I experienced this year was imposter syndrome. And honestly, if I wasn't trying so hard, then I wouldn't have felt imposter syndrome, because I would have stayed in what was comfortable for me. I got my first set of imposter syndrome in medical school when I was doing a new type of exam, and that's really tricky because you work so hard to get into medical school and you still don't feel like you belong sometimes. I also had slight imposter syndrome in finance when I was a medical student, because a lot of people had finance backgrounds, and that makes sense. Like, a lot of people wanted to do accounting because they studied accounting and finance or economics at university. So I got a lot of puzzled looks, but I'm never competing with other people. I'm never trying to compete. In fact, one of the greatest things I've noticed about myself this year is I'm not a competitive person. In terms of challenge, I'm challenged by beating what I did yesterday. I compete with myself. I'm not really looking at what other people are doing. It doesn't motivate me to do better than my peers. What motivates me is to do what I said I will set out to do. Obviously, comparison is a thief of joy, but imposter syndrome is just its best friend. If you're meant to be there, you will be there. And when you believe in a good God, God won't put you somewhere where you don't belong. If you believe in God's will, then you know that any room you enter, you're meant to be there anyway. So there's no reason to doubt. What are you doing doubting God's plan? Is He not the all-knowing? Is He not the all-loving? In terms of what you should expect in the future, I will definitely have at least one episode that's focused on self-development, self-improvement, how I've done that, how I've achieved that. And it's a process, so it's not a to-do list checklist, but what I've put in place to allow that to be true for myself and how I plan on continuing that. So just to end this video, I want to make it so clear that nothing I've done or achieved or been grateful for or had blessed onto me has been through me. It has all been through God, and I can only show you how I've allowed God to give me these blessings, how I've made myself available to receive such blessings, but none of what I say is through just my own work. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting. I'm genuinely so emotional about this because it's been such a long time coming, and I genuinely think I'm finally sitting on my purpose.
Time to pacing through the dead. Oh,